um, someone did to us that significantly causes us to not do things for ourselves that we would otherwise have done if they never opened their mouth or hurt us the way they did.
Oh wow.
It's a lot.
That's a good question.
And I know for me, hindrances with self-acceptance, unfortunately, came from home, from family. That's the first place it came from.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the first place. My family, we like to joke a lot. I'm pretty silly myself, and there's that mentality where it's like, I can do this to you, but nobody outside of the house can. And so if they would say something to me about weight, could nobody else outside do that, but it's okay for them to do that. And it wasn't any. That's fine. And it stopped me from seeing and accepting myself at any size. When I was smaller, I thought I was bigger. Bigger, I thought I was biggest. It really blocked me from accepting myself as for where I was in any part of my weight journey. And I can remember times when, even with my mom, when I was losing weight, you're losing too much weight. And in my head, I wasn't losing enough. And then if I gained the weight, oh, maybe you should do this. And nobody, let's be real, genetically, nobody in my family is small bone. You know, we're pretty healthy. We're healthy, and it's okay. But that stopped me from. I didn't wear a 2-piece bathing suit until this year because of that.
My God.
This year I bought one and I said, I'm going to wear it. I don't care. And my husband was so proud of me that I actually did it. And I took a picture and I printed it out.
Amen.
Because I never wore one because of that.
Yeah. Wow.
So imagine, what things we don't do because we're stuck with that in our head.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And how do you feel about that now?
What really challenged me to change. I don't want to cry. Stop.
You better keep it that your pink flow.
Right. My daughter, Destiny, she's really skinny, and she's dealing with it on the opposite end from kids at school. And I had to ask myself, because I recognized her pain, but it was the reverse. Not that we don't do that in my house, but I wondered what she was seeing within me that would cause her to even consider what anybody else was saying about her on the house. And I said to myself, I'm going to challenge myself to do the things that I would not have done as a result of what somebody else told me, so they can see. Not because of what I say, because children don't do what you say, they do what you say. Right. So no, that's okay.
Let it flow. Yeah. Because I was the reverse. I was Destiny. My mother, she was a 44D, and she had a big old booty before she had my sister and myself. So she always let us know, y'all took my body from me. So she spent a lot of time trying to regain it through weight on and all types of things like that. And so, because she didn't like what she looked like and I looked like her in size, then what I had, which is why I got to the point of being overweight to some degree based on whose standards, but because when I started seeing a tush grow, I was like, oh, sookie now. Now I'll be accepted as a woman because I heard my grandmother was a voluptuous woman, so I wanted to be a voluptuous woman. My mother didn't like what she looked like. She wanted everything back stacked. So then I must need to get stacked too. You know what I mean? So I know we weren't taught healthy eating habits. Couldn't afford a healthy eating habits. Right. For the most part, get what you can get. So that question is almost a little, because I'm trying to go back to remember what I wanted before the opinions and impressions, the negative ones about who I was started happening. It started happening so early, I don't think I had enough time to formulate who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just now starting to break out as the butterfly and being, myself. So that's a challenging question.
It's kind of challenging for me too. I think that didn't start happening to me until I was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I was moving more into an adult. Like as a child, my mom always said to me, you can do and be anything that you want to do or be. But I do also remember I used to speak a lot in churches, at like conferences and things like that. But I always spoke with paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always read from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my mom said to me, not maliciously, but she said, you'll never be able to just speak it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that ever took root inside of me, but I think it did take root inside of me as a child when I was speaking because my mom doesn't think that I can actually just speak it, so I'm going to stick to my notes.
Mm-hmm.
And today, I'm able to speak it all the time with no notes.
That's amazing.
And it is amazing, but it is true that if I had really listened and took root of that,
Mm-hmm.
then I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And be paid to do what I'm doing today because of what my mother said.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was something that I intentionally thought about. I think it was just something that evolved because it was already inside of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's, as an adult though, there were some things, and I can share those later, that someone said to me, and it absolutely took root and could have failed me in my business if I had listened to it.
Oh, wow.
But words are so powerful, particularly when we're ignorant to what we're saying, or that words are so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. Sticks and stones. I remember I forget how old I was. I know I had children by then, and the song "Sticks and Stones Break My Bones, but words will never hurt me."
Mm-hmm.
And as I was laying in bed, I said, "That's such a lie."
It is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because every fight that I had,
Keep going. It's still recording.
okay, every scratch that I've experienced, every knot that I got or gave, that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do still remember is what someone said to me.
Exactly.
What I do still remember are the words that were spoken.
Yeah.
So I said, that's such a... And you think about it, we can't, as far as blaming or identifying the source is important, but blaming the source, not blaming the source is as important. Because if you think we're all individual, we have journeys, and our journeys are uniquely important.
Yes.
And so, even with your greatest effort, people say stuff. Somebody's gonna say something. I mean,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. One of my girlfriends, she and I just had this conversation about how when her husband or a friend of hers tells her something about her, she feels as though she has to receive it as though it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her that just because someone has an opinion about you, you can analyze it and say, am I this or am I that? But if it goes back to knowing who we are.
That's right.
If you don't know who you are inside, when someone tells you, you'll believe anything.
Believe anything they say.
Anything they say. And then it takes root inside of you, and then you really don't know who you are. So it's so important to receive what someone says, because that's their opinion, but you don't have to accept it inside your heart and say, this is who I am.
You don't have to adopt it.
You don't have to adopt it.
You don't have to make it be your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That may be what their truth is about you, but it doesn't have to be what your truth is about you.
Yeah.
And that's because there's so many people that just spew things about you.
Yeah.
And they want you. They want to get it in your head. They want to get it in your heart. And we give away our power when we allow other people to tell us who we are.
We are. Yeah. Yeah. And it always depends on the place from. I always say, where's the origination?
Right.
Where is it coming from? What you're saying to me, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of hope? what's behind what you're saying. Because I can say, good morning. And I can be like, good morning.
Exactly.
It's the same two words.
Yes.
Yep. It's the same greeting, but it's not from the same place.
Exactly.
So if you say, Vinise, that wasn't cool, or you won't ever do nothing right. That's not, it's coming from two different places. And I very well may have needed that correction.
Right.
But where is the correction coming from?
Right.
So, I mean, I'm trying to consider that.
What are some things, throw it out there that are your red lipstick now? Because the challenge is going to be to actually do it. That's the challenge. I know one of mine, I constantly will be ready to do something where it comes to myself. Like if it's a picture of me, and then I'll be like, I'm not going to put it up right now. I'll wait till 7. 7 comes. No, 9 it is. No, maybe I could do it another time. I can't even, I do that. So I've been challenging myself, like, I don't care if my hair is messed up, if I look crazy, whatever it is, I'm going to authentically be myself and do it.
Yeah.
And so what are some of those things where you guys throw them out there?
Where we say, this is it, and I'm just going to do it.
What's a red lipstick for you that you haven't done yet? Like, what is
that I haven't done yet.
I've been breaking down.
Well, I haven't worn a 2-piece, so I need to get myself together on that.
All right. Well, I ain't wearing no gosh darn 2-piece.
Jesus! Why?
I need to wear a 2-piece.
Why? Have you ever worn one?
I have.
Okay.
I have after having 4 children, and I have when there were people all around at a pool. Like it wasn't like a beach where I'd never see nobody again. It was in the apartment complex that I lived in, and people were going to see me again. So I did break that, because when I had the boo bam bam bang bang, I would wear a t-shirt over it because of my body was made a big deal of since a little girl by people violating me. So my body was bad in my eyes. So I wanted to hide it. So that was huge, me doing a 2-piece.
Right.
That was really huge. But I don't know, I'm trying to think about, I think my red lipstick would be promoting myself. I think my red lipstick would be saying, I'm a bad coach and you get with me. And you won't be the same. Which I think that's my red lipstick. I have a hard time. I would stand on the corner all day to sell your business.
Right,
I would stand on the corner all day long to sell your business. Like, no, you don't understand. If you get with her, your company's never going to be. I could do that. But to say that about myself, about empowered elevation,
because we get taught that it's like egotistical. I know that I've done. I'll see people sometimes do it, and I'm just like, or they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so cute," and I'll be looking like, "Ooh, that's kind of cocky." But I know that that's not them being cocky. That's because I can't do that. I'm intimidated. Just the thought of doing that is like, no.
Want to get a little spiritual right here. The word says that we shouldn't self-exalt.
Right.
So it could be some of that you notice. Right. There's a difference with saying, Lord, I like this place. You're really cute. And there's another thing going in the room talking about, the bad girl just walked in the room.
Right. And you're demeanor to put other people down by your energy.
What's behind it?
Right.
Yeah. What's behind it? Yeah. So. Yeah. What about you?
I think that mine would probably be continuing to ask for the things that I want. Because I'm really on this kick of, there's a quote that I read about, if you never ask, the question is always no. And so there's so many things in my life that I did not raise my hand and say anything about. And I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to not get something or not do something because of fear. And then, you ask yourself the question, what really am I afraid of? Most of the things that we're afraid of
don't even exist.
They don't even exist. And so when you say something to somebody or you ask for something, you may or may not get it. But it could help a situation, and by remaining quiet, what does that say about me? I could be helping someone, I could be helping myself, I could be opening a door, and so mine is to not allow that fear get in to say, no, don't say that. If I feel I need to say it, if it's in my spirit to say or do, then I need to act upon that. And I'm trying to walk in that of, I need to be able to communicate anything effectively, respectfully, courageously, without feeling like, oh my God, what happened if I say that? What happened if I did? So that's what mine is.
Maybe like you're saying to me, Vinise, are we really doing that right now about you treating us to lunch?
Yes.
That was, I after the 5th time, I was like, no, I heard it. And then Melina was like, just let her. And I was like, okay, so that's showing up right now. Like, see, because I have
my mom in that moment.
I have a pad like this thick because I know where it's from. As a little girl, when you asked for anything because we were impoverished, there was such a soliloquy about the trouble that you caused for asking because it made mom feel insecure because she couldn't offer it. So her frustration about not being able to offer it was vocalized.
Right.
So now you feel diminished because you made her feel that way. So I bet not ask. And when I tell you that God has given me a book this thick, for me, pad this thick, for you showing me myself, like get rid of that. Like that's, if you open the door for me, I say thank you 12 times. It was hard for me to just say thank you once for that lunch.
Yeah.
I would be like, thank you, really appreciate it, thank you, that was so kind, thank you, thank you. Because I was taught, not deliberately, that you don't deserve to get anything, like you're not, and that's not what no one said.
Right.
But if I asked the stepdaughter for $1, you think money ground trees?
Yeah.
I asked mama for a cookie. What you think I cook? So everything there was always a problem behind my requests. So you giving me something, but isn't that causing you fun? That's not hurting you. That's not putting you out of the way.
Yeah.
To give it to me, because if you gave it to Lena, I'm like, oh, that's nice, but now you're giving it to me. Wait.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, no. Somebody held the door for me, and I'm gonna tell you this, how the Lord brought this up for me. Somebody held the door for me, and I said thank you about 5 times, and the Holy Spirit said to me, why you keep thanking him? Would you not have held the door for him?
You would have.
And I was like, oh my God, would you have required him to thank you so much? No, Lord. So where is that coming? Like I'm just processing.
Right.
Woo.
Right. Yes. If you allow him, he will certainly show you what you need to see. For sure.
Oh my God.
He will show you what you need to see.
So that's a regular stick for me. To say, okay, thank you.
And I may not have years ago, if you had said no, I would have said, well, maybe I should let her pay for her own lunch. If she,
So we both had the opportunity to exercise.
Yes. So I'm like, no, you're in my home. And in the I grew up in the South. So in the South, there is no way that well, first of all, I did all wrong because I should have had a meal cooked. That's how it sucks. We lay it all out. But there's no way that I could have you come to my home and you pay for your own food. That's totally out of the question.
Wow.
That's what I got from my mama.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess the transfer, and even with that, my mother was hospitable, but not like I'm hot. Like they would come to my house in Staten Island after I've gotten married, and they used to marvel at my hospitality because I made sure there was juice. I made sure there was stuff available for people. They were like, if you was thirsty, you should have stopped at the store. So I'm wondering if my hospitality is truly just my hospitality, or I want to reverse the way I felt when I was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I love to make sure people are comfortable. I'm learning today that I deserve to be comfortable too.
Absolutely.
That being comfortable is okay.
Absolutely.
In relationship and conversation like that. So
it's funny.
I'm doing that now.
I love
saying that, and my mom does that with food. She does that with food. That's her give. You come, you're going to get a meal. It's going to be a whole bunch. And me, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'd rather the person just be cool, just chilling and relax. You see, I like talking and listening to people and conversation and good conversation. So for me, I used to hear bad conversations. And so I might not have the layout, the spread as much as I would want somebody to feel open and free in my home.
So your hospitality is freedom.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm hearing what you guys are saying. It's like it's dawning on me. Like I don't do too much of the whole spread. I will have some cheese and some crackers and stuff like that, but I don't do a whole spread like that. I when someone comes in my house and they sit on the couch and they're talking, and we're having a conversation similar to this, or any open conversation that's going to leave them feeling lighter, that makes me I'm like, oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I dig that because I remember I posted that when people are open and honest with me and sharing their stories, I hear God's grace and I'm so tuned in.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me to hear that coming from somebody who's telling their story.
You know, it's interesting because as we talk about all these things about our red lipstick, a lot of this comes from when we were children. And it's almost like at some point, it's like a junk drawer. You have to open up the junk drawer at some point in your life and say, what really good things did I get from my parents? And what were some of the things that are bad that I got from parents, or not good, or untrue? And I need to separate and clean out this drawer so that I can figure out who I am.
Thank you.
Because we're so much the people of who our parents are, because that's who we grew up with. I am exactly like my mother in some ways, and in some ways ironically I'm like my father, that I didn't grow up with him. But as I grew up as an adult, growing up as an adult has helped me to see there's some things about my mother that I absolutely love, and I'm so glad that I got those pieces of her. And there are some things about her that I don't like, and I want to try to figure out how to make those pieces what is it that what does Andora really think, rather than what does my mom think. Because I still like to please my mother, and I'm grown, but I still want to please my mother. So I have to separate and say, is this something that your mother, are you doing it because you think your mom will like or not like it, or are you doing it because you think this is what Andora wants to do?
Oh my gosh, that's blessing me. Because my mother was 4'11" and she was tough. She had 5 brothers and she was such a fighter. And I'm just such a mush. I mean, I just was, you want some candy? You want, okay, no, you can take my doll's head off. It's okay, I can put it back on. Like that was my natural self. And she taught my sister didn't need any help being taught to be tough. So sometimes I wonder, is my toughness mine? Or was it my mother's toughness? So I went through a lot of my marriage being my mother and my sister. Because I was 22 years old, leaving slippers at the door, running bubble baths. I didn't have a problem being pink with my husband. And my mother would walk in the door and she would scoff at me cutting his toenails, or what? So when my husband come, he's getting a pedicure. Come on, honey, because you're getting a pedicure. You understand what I'm saying? He's getting a pedicure. That's just, I don't have that problem. So when I saw that she didn't agree with that, I stopped being me. And he said to me one day, you being just like your mother. And I'm like, duh, like that, I'm her daughter. But I couldn't gather what he was really saying. Like, no, I didn't marry your mother. Wait, come back.
What about my toenails?
Come back. And maybe I cut the wrong man's toenails, but that was who I was.
Right.
And when you are authentic to who you are, you win there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in this season, I love what you said, the junk drawer. That's what Yahweh is doing with me.
Yeah.
He had me pull out, because I have a bureau. And I've been through the first couple of drawers, and now, the middle drawer is a real wide drawer. I'm in that drawer right now.
Yeah.
I'm in that drawer, like, that shirt, no, your mother told you should like that shirt, no, you can take that shirt, give it away. I know you had it for a long time. I know Aunt Susie gave you that, but no. Get rid of it.
Time to let it go.
It doesn't fit anymore. You have a couple of inches less,
Right. Yeah.
So put that away. So I love that you said that. That junk drawer is being
And it's
pulled out.
painful to go through the junk drawer.
Because there's so many memories
So many
there.
memories. So many memories.
there's so many memories there, and it served me. I say this all the time when I'm ministering on Wednesdays. Nisa, you served your purpose, and thank you for what you did, for where we were at that time. I needed you.
Yeah.
But I don't need you as much now.
Yeah.
I don't attract the same people. I'm not going to the same places. I don't want the same things. If I need you, I'll holler at you.
Yeah.
But I don't need you now, and it's okay. Because she protected when she got to the point when she was tired of being red lipstick all over. She became angry and aggressive and frustrated, and that showed up often. And she helped the scared little girl come outside and play. You know, I was like, Mom said, you better go outside and play. I don't want to go out there. Like she said, if you don't go out there and fight them, you're going to have to fight me.
Told me the same thing when I was getting bullied. She said, I had gotten to the girl, and she was just bullying me all the time, her and this group of friends of hers. And my mom got mad at me. And I got mad. Because I was talking to her about it. She was egging at me about it. And I got mad. I was like, Mom, man, I got mad. She said, you going to fight me? You're going to fight her. And you're not going to come back in this house crying anymore. And I was like, I think you understand what you're asking me to do. You're going to die in the schoolyard.
You gonna fight your mom and not go out there and fight that girl?
She was like, nope, you're going to fight her. And you're going to be okay.
That is funny.
And it's unfortunate because if you're in it depends on the environment you're in. Somebody I love very much said that they were moving up north. They're not from up north. Their life has been soft and it's been, and you going into a place where people will literally run you over by foot if you're not moving fast enough.
Right.
I said, so before you go do some taekwondo, as opposed to making her think that she has to be something else to survive there, just get some external self-defense, thing. But I was taught to be, like you be preyed on, or you be the prey, or you prey on, and so we were created from where I'm from. We were created to become the lion.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Which puts a big pool of protection around, like you're protecting yourself, so it's kind of like hardcore. It's hard to get in there.
So and she can't come out.
Yeah.
Which is why I so love wanting your pink back. Pink is my favorite color, legitimately. I love being, which is why I'm still not married, because if I cannot be soft with you, if I cannot be a woman with you, if I cannot be a lady with you, if you're going to force me to go upstairs and get my Timbs and turn my hat backwards in order to maintain some peace in our home, we don't need to be together.
Exactly.
Been there, done that.
I will no longer be in a relationship when if your name is Jim, I'm going to want to call you something different. We are adults. We may get frustrated with the conversation, but we should be able to have an intelligent conversation, or want to learn how to have an intelligent conversation. Because often what we do with the red lipstick is the people that put it on us, we start taking the red lipstick and drawing it on ourselves. I'm not doing that today knowingly anymore.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
I'm not doing that today knowingly. Unless it matches my shirt.
Yeah.
Unless it matches my shirt.
Yeah, because then it continues to be the lies that we tell ourselves over and over and over again.
I refuse to be the double-edged sword while my daughter's standing in front of me in the mirror.
Yeah.
Ooh, you understand?
Not when my children are standing. I literally visualize a sword and me standing there, and you know how kids will jump in front of you in the picture, or jump in front of you to see themselves, and I see my kids in front of me, and that sword, now that it's coming at me from me, is poking them, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right.
To know that at such a young age is a blessing. I remember I had to tell my children, I said, your mother has issues. She's been through a lot. And as I grow, I'll teach you. But in the meantime, when you get older, make sure you have good insurance, because you're going to need some therapy.
We all do, don't we?
Yes, but my sister and I were talking the other day, and some of the things that she usually doesn't disclose, but prayer works. Because I've been praying, because I said I wonder about that. I wonder. And the Lord said to me, I was like, okay, this is it. He said, She was raised in the same house you was raised in.
Yes.
You don't have to wonder too much.
Some things that didn't happen to her that happened to you,
Yeah.
but she still was amongst. And that my wall like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap. So I started listening differently and I started speaking differently, and then I noticed that there's been some other. She was like, yeah, you remember? And she never talks about her past.
Wow.
Never.
That's amazing.
She never talks about it. And so I started saying, I wonder in my head, because she's still not ready for no coaching, so, but I'm like, wow, there's some healing
Yes.
little pieces coming. So I see him working.
Yes. I wish my prayer for the world, for so many, especially for so many women and men, but especially women, that we would have that moment of, I need to heal. Rather than recognizing that something's not right and then ignoring it and continue to kind of put things on top of it to cover it up. Maybe it's covering up with makeup, maybe it's covering up with designer clothes or designer shoes or handbags. But instead of covering it up, of really taking that one thing that you recognize and just dealing with that one thing. But we don't, it's so, you know, it's easier, it's a little bit easier for us because, you know, life coach, you know, and we're all very introspective. Everyone's not introspective. And so it's hard sometimes for me to recognize and realize how difficult it is to look inside yourself and say, I am not what I thought I was.
Right. Oh my gosh. What a hammer that falls.
Yes.
Because I used to say, I was just so victimized. I was so
We
sweet.
hold on to that thing.
I was so sweet and I was so nice and I liked everybody, and I heard that all my life. Like, you was just such a good kid, you was just such a sweet person, and I heard that all my life. But there was a lioness on the inside concocting and plotting and planning. So that means there was something inside of me that is capable of So when I grew up, I still stayed with the good story. With the story. And then one day I was telling myself how I was, and the Lord hit me. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom. I was like, I said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're a bully. He said to me, you're a bully. I bullied Jesus sometime too.
You're a little bully.
A mini bully.
Mini bully.
My son said that to me one day. I was telling them, they was lined up across the bed. They were teenagers. I was just divorcing, moved to Pennsylvania. 9/11, my mother just died. So it was just so much. I had 3 tragedies back to back that I witnessed. And I was telling them something and they were debating with me. Now there's 4 of them, but 3 to argue back. I don't have room to let everybody have an opinion. And 3 young black men living in, no. I said, this is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. He said, Ma, you're a bully. He's the sweetest one of them. He never talks back.
When you hear that from now, you're like, oh!
And never talks back. So when the Lord said that to me almost 20 years later, I had to believe him. I had to believe that that wasn't me. And I was like, okay, in what way? Like, show me. Okay. Because you weren't heard, and because you were violated, and because you made up your mind that you were going to enforce, that's bullying. So when I was in my last relationship and I wanted to be like, and you ain't, and you gonna, if you, I said, whoa. You know what, sir? I appreciate you and we had a good time, but I don't get to come into your life and tell you where you need to change. I don't get to come in your life and tell you what's not right and what's wrong. That's a bully.
Yeah. Oh, yes it is.
I don't get to come and tell you, well, you need to change this. No. If this is who you are, hence the dating process, I celebrate that if you're happy with that. And I'm going to go ahead and do life. That was huge for me.
Yeah, that's big.
That was huge. Because most of us do this. It didn't work out because he ain't, and he ain't, and he didn't. No, that's who he is. It just didn't matter. that. You just
Exactly.
that's okay. Doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Right, you just not, you don't mention. That's okay too. Can we be okay with that?
Yeah.
Can we be okay with that?
So we start putting red lipstick on other people.
Yes. Ooh.
We make men wear lipstick.
All the time.
Lipstick.
We make men wear
We got a whole thing of it.
Different shades.
All kinds.
Yeah.
So that was huge for me.
Oh, that's big.
That was huge for me.
That's
to walk
big.
away and say, I don't hate you. It's like you didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You are you. But I'm realizing that you and I are not compatible. Well, tell me what you want me to change. No. Because it's only going to last for a little while.
Exactly.
I'm going to get happy for 3 months. Then you're going to show back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our what we reveal, we heal.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll try.
Oh gosh.
This is a big one because now you're gonna share something right now if it's okay with you.
Yeah,
I
transparency.
have to dig deep. I probably already revealed it.
That's pretty good. That's good though. When you get to a place where
But this is not about something that happened to you. This is about maybe something that you've done to somebody.
help us Jesus. She's so disrespectful.
Wow.
Ooh. Lord, okay, I got it. It just hit me. Okay.
I'm trying to think on mine.
Oh my
So it may
gosh.
not be something that happened
Not to you.
to me.
This is
It may
about
be something I
something
did
you've
to
done.
somebody
Oh my
else.
gosh, there's so many things. And I wouldn't have said that some time ago. There's so many things.
Oh, I know what mine is. Got mine.
Who's going first?
Lena's still
I'm
thinking.
still thinking.
I don't believe her.
No,
Oh my gosh, there's so many things. Oh, I feel like crying. There's so many things. Wow.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, so when you guys were talking, I was thinking about my kids and my family. And I know for me, something that I've done in the past with where my son is concerned is I taught him indirectly because of my approach with things. And it can be a good thing and a bad thing. I always felt like it was a good thing for me, but I don't know if it's a good thing for him because I like to laugh. I love to laugh. I love making people laugh. But I know that was also something that God gave me to push past my pain. So it's almost like it's a cover up. And he does the same thing with his pain.
Wow.
Disguise it.
So I want to apologize to him if what he sees, not because I told him to, me do has now transpired into how he deals with his hurt and his pain. I don't want him to have that red lipstick on from my actions. So I apologize to him for that. I apologize to him.
That's heavy. Where's the tissue?
I know. I got plenty of
Where's the tissue?
That's for
We need
sure.
tissue.
Where are the tissues? I can get a tissue.
Next time we went to a box.
Yeah.
I have a box.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's huge. And you kind of detoured me back to the children because I was going towards I had 3 children, one by one man, and then I have one child by my husband, ex-husband. So to clear up that dynamics. And I know as a young woman having 3 children by him, I was vicious because I was so close to the pain of who I was. There was no filter, and when I spoke with him, there was no filter when I spoke to him. There was no filter how I dealt with him. And he's and this is why I know this is so huge for me. So the overflow of joy that I have right now, even to be able to say this, knowing that other people are going to see it, is huge for me. He's the father of the young man that I cared for at 28, and he doesn't help at all, and he's still very much alive and all that good stuff. I asked him for help a couple of times, and he just refuses. I can't help myself. But to him, I apologize for demonizing him for being who he is unable to be, and probably helping him be, or the lack thereof. Because with whatever love he had, he did love me, and I knew that, and I use that word very, very loosely because love is understanding. And some probably will say, well, why do you apologize to him? You don't even help me take care of your curfew spot. Because God still loves him. God still loves him, and I apologize to him for making him feel even smaller than he already felt. Wow, that's just huge. I wanted to. I actually called him a couple of months ago because in my closet I started to tear up for him because I knew where his beginning was. Right, I knew where. I know I have God on my side. Doesn't right. You okay?
Yeah, I just needed some water.
So, and what made me emotional is because I was so used to being a victim. I would have sat here before and said, I didn't do nothing to nobody. Right. I didn't do nothing to nobody. But there's a list.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, please.
This
will take your time.
Be a cough break.
Yeah, that's huge.
That is huge, ladies.
And that's above even my children because I apologize to them face to face. But him, he is, I won't say the only person, but he is somebody that I would owe an apology to. Go ahead, God, have your way.
Okay.
Do your thing.
Yes.
Yes. That's good.
All right.
Take your time.
I'm back.
I know that feeling, that sinus tickle in your throat.
Yeah, or you feel like if you feel like something's stuck in your throat. That is exhausting.
I'm back with a cough drop.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
No apology necessary.
Alright. Okay, so mine. This was a huge thing for me. In the past, I learned that my intentions were actually judgment.
I got you. I got you.
Yes. I try to be the most non-judgmental person, but I realized that when I would try to help people in the past, I was trying to help them, but I was trying to help them try to see the way I was seeing, which is unfair because people have different experiences, they have different thoughts, they're just different in general, and just because something has worked for me does not mean that it will work for someone else. And so I want to apologize to all my friends and family in the past where I have tried to get them to see in a different way, but was really the way that I see.
Jesus.
And so what I try to do now is help people to see their way rather than mine. I may offer some insight, I may share some of my own stories, but I really think that I had good intentions. I wanted to help, but I was trying to help. It's like, if they'd only do it this way, if you just do this, if you just do that. Those are things that I had done. Well, those things might not work for you because you're in a different experience, or might not work for you because where you're from, or you have different parents, or you have siblings, or whatever, and I had to really take a step back and say, everybody is not the same. So people have to learn on their own time. They have to learn when they want to, when they're ready to do it. And they also have to find their own way.
Yeah.
Just because I did it this way does not mean someone else can do it that way.
Yeah.
So I really had to learn to stop being judgmental just because someone wasn't doing something the way I was doing it.
That's big.
That's really, that's why I love the life coaching process. Because it deals with, I don't make the decision. It comes out of you.
That's why with my friends now, I think it drives them crazy, but I now ask them more questions so that they can try to figure it out internally for themselves, rather than me saying, well, what would you do? Well, I would do something different just because my experience is different.
That's good.
What do you want to do?
That's good.
So that's something that was really big that I learned.
I think that's when my son, when he says bully, when you said that, the judgment of it, it has to be this way. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Feels right for me. It looks good to me from this way. Do it that way. No, that's bullying. You bully your perspective.
Yes.
Don't, you don't have to do that. It's okay that somebody else has a different...
Exactly. That's how we learn.
Yeah. But you're not, my mother came from a household of 10. You had to lay the law.
Exactly.
To keep 10 people in
You
check.
had to.
In a small apartment. You had to lay the law. This is what it is. My grandfather was, no, do this, and let me say this, they weren't wrong. We are the evidence of Yahweh's progressiveness in this world. They were the evidence of their parents, and so forth and so on. As much as insightful as we think we are, the generation behind us is going to say, well, wait a minute, what about
Exactly.
what about upping it a level?
Yes.
That's how.
That's true.
So I
That's
want to
so
say
true.
that too. The ones that did the best they could with what they had. And for those that didn't, I wonder how much pain you were in when you put your head down to the pillow at night knowing that you did not do your best.
Yes. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I love this. This is our first episode.
Yeah. That's done.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
That was awesome.
Woo, heavy.
Man, I need y'all over here every Saturday. Every other Saturday. Yeah. I mean, really.